Is this?
Do you think you'll win?
No, I don't.
No. Which would you prefer, Mary McLeod or Ruth Cadbury?
I think that both have done.
Which would you prefer?
I have no preference for a Conservative or a Labour MP.
No, sometimes you have to make a choice. It may not be your ideal choice, but surely you have a preference between Mary McLeod and Ruth Cadbury.
I have a preference for a Liberal Democrat candidate.
Yeah, but you're not going to win.
Well, you don't
You
win.
accept you're not going to win.
You don't win if you don't stand.
But you're not going to win, are
and
you?
No, this is
No, but you've said earlier on in this interview that you won't win.
This is a fallacy.
You didn't even.
John, we live in a democratic country.
You've got fewer votes.
Are you asking me the questions or are you answering them yourself?
But you got fewer votes than what you didn't even come third last time, did you? You're going to take votes away from Ruth Cadbury, who's the only one who's got a chance of winning against Mary McLeod. Why are you doing that?
Well, first of all, Liberal Democrats, essentially, if there was no Liberal Democrat standing, what our expectation is that vote would probably split about three ways, equally. About 1/3 probably would not vote at all, 1/3 might vote Labour, 1/3 would probably vote Conservative.
I don't believe that.
Our membership, essentially, many of them will never vote Labour. They're very opposed to the Labour Party, very opposed to what it stands for. The only opposition that can essentially have an impact against a Tory landslide is a Liberal Democrat candidate, because we don't think Labour can win.
OK, in Twickenham maybe, where Vince Cable's standing, I'd agree with you. Mm-hmm. But here, in Brentford, you don't have a chance.
The opposition, essentially, is going to be made up of Liberal Democrat MPs, those Labour MPs, perhaps that split away from the Corbyn rump, and then an element of SNPs.
But you're not going to be one of those Liberal Democrat MPs because you haven't got a chance in this constituency.
Well, an opposition has to be built.
So it's irrelevant. All you're going to do is help the Conservatives win the seat back. You're basically Mary McLeod's secret weapon.
What I've told you, and this is based on our own assessment and polling, is that Liberal Democrats, at least as many Liberal Democrats, if there's no Liberal Democrat, will vote for Conservative candidate as they will for Labour.
I'd like to see that, Purdy, because
this is a fallacy.
If we take Brighton, do you think Brighton, the Lib Dems have withdrawn in Brighton, haven't they, to help the Green Party?
Single seat for a special circumstance.
Yes, to help the Green Party.
Yes.
The Lib Dems are even that tiny bit beyond the current Labour Party in Brighton, in which they believe they're going to vote for the Green Party, otherwise they wouldn't be bothered to withdraw. So how come it's so different here from down in Brighton?
Because the Labour Party, in our opinion, has no chance of winning this time round in Brentford and Knaresborough. The Labour Party is split completely. Their own membership in Hounslow, the Momentum, is made up of largely of, is now substantially made up of the Momentum members. Many of them do not support their current MP. Ruth Cadbury herself is opposed to her leadership. They're a very disunited party. They're in terminal decline. And what we're seeing, essentially, is the demise of the Labour Party.
But Ruth Cadbury is a good Labour MP, and she's against Brexit.
Well, she herself, essentially, has voted against Article 50. Almost all, the entire Labour Party MPs voted for the exercise of Article 50. Ruth does not support a second referendum on the deal that is going to be put essentially to the country, or offered by the EU to the country. Now, that for us essentially is a position that we cannot support.
So you think she'll lose whether you stand or not?
That's correct.
Well, not everybody thinks that.
Well, that's our...
You certainly reduce her chances, and you increase the chances.
We're standing.
Of Mary McLeod.
We do not support the Labour Party, and we do not support their policies. Okay, we're standing for liberal democracy. We're here as a Liberal Democrat to build an opposition in this country to a Conservative hegemony.
But
the Labour Party is in terminal decline.
But the Liberal Democrats...
Not only will it not win here, it will not win across the country. And as far as we can see, the Labour Party is coming to an
Don't
end.
you accept you're helping Mary McLeod to win back this seat?
I do not. As I've indicated to you, the fact that we went into 2010, in coalition 2010, is because many members of the Liberal Democrat Party, including in this borough, would rather support a Conservative candidate than a Labour candidate. For us, the Labour Party is every bit as bad as the Conservative Party. So our position essentially is that the only alternative opposition, the only way that we can present some kind of opposition to a very hard Brexit is to elect Liberal Democrat candidates. And that's why we insist that they should stand in every part of the country.
Do you think Ruth Cadbury's been a bad MP?
No, I think she's been done a reasonable job.
Better than Mary McLeod?
Similar. We gained 24% of the vote in 2010. The only way that you can give people a choice is if the candidate stands. Okay, I'm totally opposed to not offering that choice. If people want to see a real opposition to hard Brexit, then they have the choice. They have a choice of a Liberal Democrat candidate.
What do you think about the Greens dropping out here in order to help Ruth Cadbury keep the seat?
Well, I think it's a mistake. I think the Greens essentially should stand on their own platform. Again, the Greens do not own their voters. Their voters make their own decision. Okay, some may support that. Others may not vote at all. Others may vote Conservative even, or they may vote Liberal Democrat. They may not vote Labour at all.
But they're not the only one giving up their opportunity to win. UKIP aren't standing either.
Absolutely.
So they're going to give their votes are going to almost certainly go to Mary McLeod, the Conservative.
I suspect that many UKIP voters will opt for the Conservative Party because the Conservative Party have essentially adopted, to a very large extent, the UKIP platform.
So the only one who's pursuing this non-tactical strategy is you.
No, the Liberal Democrats are pursuing a Liberal Democrat strategy. Okay, tactical voting is for the individual voter. As far as I can tell, the Labour Party is probably going to be out of power for a very, very long time and will most likely split into two factions. When that happens, there is no opposition. That opposition has to be rebuilt, and it starts with elections like these.
That may be so, but people are still going to say
that is so.
Joe Bourke isn't going to end up as our MP. And he's just going to make it more likely that Ruth Cadbury, who's a good MP, is anti-Brexit, doesn't keep this seat.
Well, that's what John Dell says. That's not what people say. People have their own opinions. Each voter will vote as they determine. If they wish to vote tactically, that will be their choice. Okay, but that it's not a choice that will be forced on them by me or by the Liberal Democrat Party.
And is this the Brexit election? Is Brexit the major issue?
Brexit is undoubtedly the major issue because it affects everything that we do. Whether it's funding the NHS, whether it's managing and funding our schools, whether it's housing issues, every economic issue that we face is going to be affected by this Brexit decision. Exiting the European Union without a preferential deal for access to the single market is going to devastate the economy of this country. And it's going to essentially leave us in a situation where we are unable to properly fund much of the public services that we rely on.